let's fix our right now broken, error-ridden index issues. So when you say now, get me a player, and somebody irresponsibly puts in 1,000,000,000 or -1 or something, we don't crash. Nice and simple. If index is bigger than 0, nope, sorry, or equal to 0, and the index is less than size, then come on in. Otherwise, for now we don't know what to do. There is a better error reporting mechanism. If they put in like 100 or 1,000,000,000, I'll say 100 or billion, whatever, is not a valid index. Okay, if I have 2 elements in here, remember there is no element 2 because they start at 0. So they go from 0 to less than 2. If I had 7 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements, there is no element numbered 7 because they go from 0 to 6. So the size is 7 here, but the indexes never reach 7. That's always true. They'll always be less, not equal. So the valid index goes from equal to 0 to less than, not including the size. It should be impossible to get this thing to crash now. Let's try that. I'll make my hockey player, Gretzky. I'll make my hockey team. I'll put Gretzky in my team. Get rid of the independent Gretzky. I only want the one in my team now. I'll add my other player. We saw in the code before. Add new player. Puts in Luongo. And now I'm going to ask, hey, get me player 1. That's Luongo. Hey, get me player 0. That's Gretzky. Get me player 2. This used to crash. 2 is not a valid index. But it is if we add another Luongo. There's 3 elements in here. Gretzky, Luongo, and I added another Luongo. I can put as many Luongos as I like by simply calling the add new player method, which just makes new Luongos and sticks them in the array list. However, if I tried get player -1, it doesn't crash. That's what I want. Graceful execution. -1 is not a valid index. In other words, this is not just a good idea, you must do it. Remember this for your quizzes. When you get something, make sure the index is in bounds. Greater than equal to 0, less than, not equal to size. And I'm going to do that again in a second here. I'm just going to copy paste this whole method because it is very similar. Public get player, I'm going to say fire player. In other words, remove player. You have to give an index again. And all I do is this, players.remove index. I'll review that in a second, the code, but look, when you put add, that wants a hockey player parameter for our array list. When you say get, it wants an index. Which one do you want me to get? When you say remove, it wants an index. Which one do you want me to remove? For example, 0 would get rid of Gretzky if he were the first element. Finally, size doesn't take any parameters. So watch this. Fire player. There's firing. Pulling it right out of the array list. Compile it. I'll create my Gretzky. I'll create my team. I'll put Gretzky on my team. I'll get rid of the independent Gretzky. I'll add Luongo. I'll ask how many players. There are 2. I'll fire player 0. I'll fire Gretzky, believe it or not. Now I'll ask how many players are there. There are 1. If I inspect it, I'll see it is the first one. Gretzky used to be first, but now Luongo has, you'll see it's Luongo, has crushed up to be the first element. There will never be empty spaces before our elements. And then I will fire another player. 1. There is no player 1. Not valid index. I'll fire player 0, that's Luongo. I'll ask how many players are on my team. 0. Let's inspect my array list. In fact, right, they're all nulls. Luongo's gone, Gretzky's gone. That should conclude everything we need to do here, and we'll do one more video on the for each loop. Very important, very easy, very friendly. And you can watch these videos as many times as you like. You can email me if you have questions. One more video coming up.